Hi guys, welcome back to the Mick Morris Read Aloud. We are on chapter 15 and the next 3 chapters are only like a page and a half long. So I think we'll get a whole bunch of them in this part. So we'll start on chapter 15. We're over here, squealed Sissy. Darn, I thought to myself. I was totally happy to see Mom and Aunt Marissa, but I didn't want to be bothered by Sissy. But the minute I saw Nathan's face light up, I knew I couldn't say a thing. I tried to stall so we wouldn't have to sit next to Sissy, but it was no use. So, how was the museum? Sissy asked. Everyone began chatting about how great it was while I dug into my backpack for my oldest book of myths. I carefully pulled out the worn brown leather book with yellowed pages and sat quietly flipping through it. I was searching for anything that might even remotely resemble that creature we had seen. Can you ever just let your silly myth-solving go and have some fun? Snickered Sissy, peering over to see what I was doing. I slowly lifted my head and looked around the large table just to make sure nobody else had heard her bold comment. Luckily, they were all busy talking, so they hadn't. Then I just glared at her. Nathan leaned over and whispered something in her ear. Her eyes widened with fear. I couldn't help but think he might have told her what had happened at the museum. I held my breath, watching him as he continued whispering. That's the end of chapter 15. But I'm not that mean. So, chapter 16. Relax, said Nathan as he looked up at me. Then he held out his hand for our secret handshake, which always meant friends first. That was a huge relief, but I couldn't help but wonder when Nathan had gotten so smooth with girls. He seemed so different around Sissy now, which kind of made me want to puke. I know she's my cousin, and I know she risked her life on those last few missions, and she was right there with us in the most dangerous situations. But when she was around our parents, man, she just was way too silly and girlish for me. I immediately went back to flipping through the pages of my book while everyone continued talking and laughing. I wanted to have fun too, but I had to see if I could find some sort of creature that could possibly, even remotely, resemble that little monster we had seen. I turned to the aviation section, which meant everything about aircrafts. Page 212. But when I got to that page, I almost fell off my chair. There it was, staring right back at me. Mick? Mick, are you all right? Mom asked. She surprised me so much, I dropped my book. Yeah, Mom, you startled me, I said. Now, how could I have startled you in such a fun, busy place? Why don't you take a break from looking for myths for a while? Dad said you had fun at the museum. What did you see? Excuse you. Mila wanted to see it too. As I glanced towards the floor, the page had remained open where the book had fallen, and the face of the grinning, mischievous gremlin was smiling at me. Excuse you. So we'll read chapter 17 and that'll be it. I'm cool, Mom. Just hungry and tired from walking so much, I said as I tried to hide the shaking in my voice. She nodded and smiled. The second she looked away, I bent down to pick up the book. Gremlins. Gremlins? How could that be? Nobody had heard or seen from them since World War II. And they were never proven. Unlike the other myths people had caught on film, gremlins were always thought to be a made-up myth. I quickly scanned the page, and even though it didn't look exactly like the one we'd encountered, it was close enough. I kept reading. They were described as freakish little things known during World War II. They were tiny with big ears and full smiles of teeth and sometimes fur. Some had horns and webbed feet, some were green or gold, and some black. Some said they were apparitions and mischievous, known to sabotage planes, causing them to crash. They tinkered with anything mechanical, causing all sorts of problems and playing pranks. Others were known to be friendly and help pilots in times of distress. But the gremlin we had seen was not one of the nice ones. I had chills and shivers running up and down my spine. And we'll leave it there. Chapter 18 will be the next one.